Hello, Thrive Nation. We are going to get started in just a second. I'm excited to be interviewing Dustin and Tiffanie Wagner today. We'll bring them on in just a second. You guys are actually at Dustin and Tiffanie. I don't know whose phone or whose account you're doing it from. So just request to be added as soon as you come on. I've got it set where you can just send the request. So, hey guys, how's it going? Hopefully you guys have enjoyed some of the interviews that we've been able to do with so many different leaders. I know I'm probably interviewing people that you guys are, haven't heard their stories yet or haven't heard, about their journey and their business. And I know you guys are getting tons of golden nuggets, or at least I hope you are. Definitely be sure and tag your teammates so that they can have a chance to catch up. Remember, these videos, people can catch up on them while they're getting ready in the morning, on their way to work, as they're getting ready at night, whatever it takes. I think Heather Creech, when I interviewed her, she talked about listening to a call in the shower. We do what we got to do, right? All of us are literally stealing time to work this business. So hopefully this one, it's a little later in the day, so it's probably catching a different time zone, lunch hour. So anyway, but definitely let your teams know that we have these happening over here. You're going to love hearing from Dustin and Tiffanie today. And also, we do always move these recordings over to our Team Thrive Nation YouTube channel. So you can actually just go to YouTube, type Team Thrive Nation, hey Jenna, and then from there, you're going to see all these interviews, which is pretty stinking cool. That's another thing that's super easy to just plug in, with your Bluetooth or whatever, and listen to it via YouTube, on the way to work or whatever, or while you're getting ready in the morning. So, hey,
how's it going?
Hi. It's good. It's good.
Can you hear us okay?
You look so pretty.
I don't think we've gone live before with both of us as a guest, so this is fun.
Oh, it's like really? So, all right. Well, awesome. Well, I'm excited to have you two together. And I kind of feel like I'm sitting in your office. Guys, I've actually been able to stay at the Wagners home, which was amazing and so neat, just because I love them, but also I'll never forget just pulling up in the driveway that day, because you've shared your story with me, like where you were before, and I don't know, just it's just neat. It's like I think I get more excited driving up to my promoters, that they've used this opportunity to do something different, and it was beyond anything they dreamed of, and I get more excited for you guys than I did building my own house, but it's just, I don't know, there's just something special to it. So we're gonna kick this off, but I want to introduce Dustin and Tiffanie to you guys. They've been with us since 2014, right? And I actually was able to meet Dustin at a local event. Okay, so a lot of you guys I know probably heard the leadership call last night with Jason Camper. If you missed it, guess what? I went live while we were doing the call. So that recording is technically in this group page. So if you missed it, you can hear it. There's not anything to see, but you can actually hear it on the live that I did late last night. So you can just search it. Actually, I labeled it with leader call with Jason Camper or whatever. But he talked about, just the power of local events and just that power of the face-to-face interaction. And I was actually in Rochester, Minnesota. I'd never been to Rochester. And how many people were in the room that night, Dustin? Probably like 35?
34, I think it was.
Okay. But I remember meeting you, and I do remember just seeing a look in your eyes. Tiffanie, you were coaching at the time, right?
Coaching volleyball, yep.
So you didn't get to come, but you sent your husband.
I know, right?
It was more like me. I'm like, if you're not going, I'm going. One of us has to go to this. Yeah.
Yeah, you gotta check this out. So anyway, that's when I met Dustin for the first time, and there was definitely a look in his eyes that was like, there's something to this. So let's kick this off with you guys telling us a little bit about your story, because I think you guys were literally like brand new when you attended that local event or just started thriving. So tell us a little bit about your start, and then talk to us a little bit about what that event did for you guys as far as the vision that was painted.
I mean, yeah, that was within our first month of thriving. We started out as customers. I mean, just a 3-day trial actually is how I started. And we noticed a big enough difference, like we need to thrive, definitely. Started out as a customer, realized really quickly that it was free to be a promoter. We needed financially to get our 2 referrals so that we could continue to thrive. And
you guys, we borrowed my mom's credit card to purchase our first 400 upgrade pack. That was to get my product. We bought her a month. We scrounged together enough to buy her a month, but then like 4 days after that, we bought a $400 upgrade pack. I flipped a promoter to help her hit VIP, and you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, the whole thing was we flipped because it was free. Like,
Right.
you know, we knew we needed to get those 2 referrals, and he was the one that said, I'm not leaving money on the table. If somebody's going to get a kickback on these referrals, it might as well be us. And literally, Mauria, we had no intention of making a business out of this. I was in accounting. He was doing concrete. He had a concrete business. Selling vitamins was not something we were looking to do. And, but man, we were feeling incredible, and we started sharing with some people. We had a few people join us right away, and he just said, I mean, we got to find out more about this. I got to get to this event and see what this is all about. So
this is a guy who was very skeptical on the entire industry as a whole. You know, I come from a family of very proud, very successful small business owners, you know, brick and mortar, mom and pop shop type businesses, which is what I had for 10 years. Our concrete business was 10 years old at that time, and very successful, as successful as it could be at the level it was. And I was maxed out. I had went to school to be a machinist and did the 9-to-5 deal, you know, and didn't like trading money for hours at a time, you know. I didn't like that aspect, so I jumped in and started my own business, and found out real quick I was still limited as far as, because I had to be on every job site, and I was still trading. I could only make so much money because I only had so much time in the day. So it wasn't until I started Googling to find out the reasons why we shouldn't become Le-Vel brand promoters that I started seeing this word residual income, which I didn't know what it meant. You know, I didn't understand. And so I wouldn't even let my wife have a pampered chef party at the house. It was like against the rules.
it was really against direct sales.
Yeah.
For real.
So yeah, that's what we decided. I'm like, if we're gonna look at the promoter side, I got to go to this meeting. These are those hotel meetings that everybody talks about, you know. And I'm like, well, let's, you know, if you can't go, I'm gonna go. It was a couple. I don't know how far away is that for us. It was a couple.
Probably 2 hours.
It was a 2-hour drive. I talked to one of my buddies. I'm like, seriously, man, can you be my wingman and go down there with me on this? And you know, had he said no, I probably wouldn't have gone. He did say yes, and we went down. But,
how far was your drive that night?
It was just over
Wisconsin.
Yeah, like 2 hours away.
Okay.
Yeah.
2.5. Yeah.
Didn't know anybody.
No. I actually didn't even know. Our sister-in-law Jody happened to be down. She went down to it as well, and we didn't know she was even going to go. She had joined in right away too. She had some previous direct sales experience, and I think she was down in that area already, so she swung in. So I knew her, and we knew Brittany. We had gotten on a call right before.
We had talked to
We
Brittany.
had talked to Brittany on the call, Brittany Beneke on a call, and so we knew her. And I tell you what was awesome for me. I'm going to give a shout out to John Hauser. You know Amy Hauser and John, right? And it was John Hauser that really made me feel welcome walking into that room. This guy, husband of, a promoter. I came in, I felt welcome right away. I was a little nervous, walking in a room full of women, what's going to happen. And he was super welcoming. And that's a cool thing that we see at events a lot is, you don't have that, there's not that sales aspect happening there, right? You're not buying anything, so there's no pressure there. So it's just a lot more relaxed. And I really, that put me at ease right away and opened me up to listen to what people are going to actually deliver, the message you guys are giving us. So that was awesome.
So what happened at that event that painted a picture for you? I mean, you went home and you guys took off?
Yeah.
Like, what was it that?
I saw you guys did I don't know, there's like 8 of you women. I can't remember how many were up there, but you guys were painting a picture the entire night of a product that worked, a product that had high impact, quick results, which we felt, so we already knew that, but we didn't know if it was just us. But that product worked, was high impact results, and then he started painting a vision of possibility. I started seeing the possibility of residual income, and I'm looking at you guys, and no offense, but you guys are just regular people. You know, I mean, I didn't know you. I had no preconceived notions. All I knew is you were flying in from Texas. I'm like, well, she must be kind of a big deal. She's gonna fly all the way up here. That's crazy, right? So I'm like, so she must be kind of a big deal, but I didn't know. I know preconceived.
Sheila was there.
Sheila was there.
Molly,
yeah, all of them were there, and then everybody just kind of sat at the same tables we were at. So like after the event, came and sat down. I think Sheila came and sat and talked with us, and I just looked around. I'm like, you know, these are just average, amazing people with great stories that have a desire to do something. And I'm like, I can have a desire to do something. I want more. I think we can do this. So I went home and I was fired up. I shared with her and I tried to bring that passion home, but it's hard to do. You know, if anybody watching's ever been to an event, you go home, talk to a spouse, and you try to relay that. It's like listening to, you know, campers. You're watching that video today after the call, after Jason Camper's call last night. If you watch that live, it's still not the same as listening to it live in the moment. There's just something about the energy.
Yeah.
Same as watching it, you know, watching an event, being there in person versus, you know, seeing what's posted after, hearing from your spouse. It's just different.
He did a good job though, because I was fired up after he came home.
So, do you remember what month that was?
April of 2015.
Okay. 15?
14. Did I say 15?
Yeah, 2014. Yep.
2014, sorry.
2014. Okay, so I guess I had just gone Le-Vel full time. If it was April, I think I maybe saw a few patients in the month of April, and then I was done. So that, I don't know if you guys heard me say on the call last night, when I left my career to do this full time, I didn't stay home. I hit the road, and that's why I went up there. But Sheila was actually still working, I think, until, I don't know. Everybody was still, or had just, I don't know. I mean, it was definitely something that we were working into the nooks and crannies for sure. And I'm pretty sure it was on a weekend. Or no, it was a Thursday night or something.
It was a weekend.
I think it was a weekend because I had a tournament. That's why I couldn't go. Yep.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. It's just crazy to think back. And that's still one of, I mean, my most memorable events. And I don't know why. I mean, it was just, I don't know. There was a lot that came from that night, but I could probably go through each other event that I've done since then and be able to say, well, but this came of this and this came of that. And you just don't ever know. I don't know if you guys heard me say last night that most people don't become a runner upon enrollment. You know, people become a promoter because they don't want to leave money on the table, or it makes zero sense for them to be a customer if they could maybe earn a little something, or they become a promoter because they're like, you tell them about the bonuses and they have an opportunity to cash in on up to $660 on 800, and they're like, dude, I know enough people that need this, I can get $800 in orders, you know. So initially maybe people are just running after that bonus, but that whole runner mentality typically doesn't happen until they're exposed to something that says, I can too, and why not me? You guys want to talk about that a little bit? Just, I mean, as far as what you guys have seen in your teams, you know, when someone says, why not me? When they put themselves in that place, I mean, what have you guys seen?
I think that's definite. I mean, you know, seeing somebody face to face, talking to somebody, you know, voice to voice on the phone, that's impactful. But when you see face to face, like so I'm going to just take us for example. He went to that local. He actually went to 2 locals before I could make it to one, because both of them happened to be on weekends. One was in Minneapolis. I believe Jason Camper came to that one in Minneapolis. He took his mom. I had to coach on that day as well. I did not make my first local until June. And that's, you were at that one too, Mauria. That's when Paul Gravette came to Minneapolis. And I did go off of Dustin's excitement. I mean, we kind of blew up. Like we just had a lot of momentum. We had a ton of excitement, so many new experiences. And I think that's huge too, having those new experiences coming in personally on the team, you know, like just tons of Thrive experiences. But when I went to my first local in June, I was like, okay, this is it. Like I went off his excitement for a couple of months, but when I was able to be in that room with all those other Thrivers, I mean, just the energy of being around that many other people that feel the same way you do, that's huge. Getting to meet your leaders for the first time, that's huge. And being impacted by those stories. I did go off his excitement for a couple of months, but man, being able to be there myself completely changed things. So I do feel like, you know, we even put our running shoes on more after that one in June. It was, again, life-changing. It was, you know, taking what we already had for excitement and momentum and just deciding we're going to bring it up here now. You know, we're going to do more. And I think there's something to be said for being face to face with people. I don't think that'll ever go away.
I think a lot of people have a hard time truly dreaming big. That's actually why we named our team name Go Ahead and Dream Big, because you have to give yourself permission to dream big sometimes. We don't think we deserve it. That was a huge thing you struggled with for the longest time. I mean, literally, we had a block. We couldn't get to that 200K mark. And, you know, after a few powwow sessions at home and might have involved a lot of tears and stuff, we realized it was not feeling deserving of what 200K stood for financially. More than anything, we love changing the lives, but the financial side, the financial reward, you know, we didn't feel deserving of it until we got over that. You know, and by the way we got over that was we watch our leaders and the things, the lives they're impacting. We watch you guys, you and Ralph, you know, the stuff you have going on and the number of lives you're able to impact. You know, just you know, by the fact that you're financially rewarded so well, you can impact more people in different ways.
Right.
And I think when we get together with, like, if you don't go to locals, you could go to a local today, you know, and have a room full of already Thrivers. Camper talked about that in the call last night. I love that point. We kind of got hung up on having brand new people at our events, and that's what we wanted to really push. And we didn't worry about getting our old existing promoters there. But man, if we go to that event and we sit down at a table and happen to have a conversation with one of those existing promoters and we light their why on fire, like they get inspired by something we say, we find out what's driving them, you know, do they just want to, maybe, you know, I see Jason Manquist on here, maybe they just want a super fast car with big fat tires on the back so they can go over to their brother-in-law's and burn out in it because they don't like them anymore. So you got to find out what their why is. I actually just read that scenario is in a book I'm reading right now. It's an amazing book. I'll send it to you. Maybe it's about being a leader. It's great, super short too, my kind of book. But it talks about how to find leaders, and that's one way. You already may have leaders in your organization, and at those events is a great time to chat with them, inspire them, and find out you might already have one sitting there. So I think once we find their why and find somebody who has a why with a desire, you know, that's huge. You know, I mean, we all want something, but the true deep desire to go get it and who's willing to do whatever it takes. And that's where we were. I don't know if you guys saw my post the other day. You know, we lived in a trailer. How long we been here?
2.5 years.
2.5 years. So like 2.5 years ago, it was winter time, you know, and I was crawling under the crawl space of our trailer house to fix broken pipes that happened every year. 10 years in that trailer house, 12 years in that trailer house. Every year they break. And I looked down, had a flashlight in my mouth. I only got like this much space, and I looked down and I got a dead rat under my arms. And I'm like, oh no, I'm done. I got out of there. I said, where there's one, there's more. And that was what changed my level of desire for our dream house. And that pushed us. We're like, all right, let's get it on the vision board. We're going to make it happen. And now let's just, whatever it takes. That's going to mean daily consistent activity and no quitting. That was a flipping.
Yeah, I love that. Well, and basically, that's what Jason said last night. He used the word disgust, or what was the other word? I don't have my notebook in front of me. But he said that's basically what it takes for someone, either the disgust of where they are, or is it disgust the word he used? I don't know. Or desire to be in a different place. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, I'm sick and tired of this, so I'm done with this. So I'm going to put in the work so we can have something different. And by the way, you guys have a beautiful home. I love it. So, your consistency. I mean, you guys have been with the company almost 5 years, right? 4.5-ish.
Yep.
Okay. So what is it? I mean, you're in the top of my team's leaderboard every month, the PPA. What is it that, because you have a huge team, I mean, you've reached millionaire status, you're both at the 200K rank. I mean, what is it that keeps you continuing to work? Because I mean, I've been in your office. I mean, by the way, Tiffany's like the most organized person I've ever seen in my ever. I was like, oh. But
He calls me OCD.
But what is it that keeps you just so laser focused to stay in that zone and consistency? And you guys do this together. And if we're being completely honest, most people don't have a spouse that's doing it with them all the time. I mean, we don't. So Ralph helps with other things. I do this, you know. So those of you that don't ever, it's okay. I mean, I think all of us have our give and take, but just talk to us a little bit about that consistency and your days. I mean, I know like what we launched as far as 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, that's like nothing new for you guys. You guys are probably doing like 30, 25, 20, you know what I mean? But talk to us a little bit about that.
We actually, Dustin just had one of our promoters ask, like, you know, where you're at now, you tell. I mean, like,
it was a great question. It caught me off guard. He said, you just basically what you said, why do you keep doing it every day? What keeps you doing it every day? And I looked at him and I'm like, I love what I do. I mean, I love it. And we have so many family members that are team members. I see one of my cousins is on here. You know, I want her hitting that auto bonus. I want her ranking 40K and hitting 80K because we know what it's going to mean for them. We have so many people that we want to be where we're at yet. And I mean, I'm not 40 yet. I said when I was like 10, I was going to be able to have the option to retire at 40. I'm not there yet. So I'm not ready to be done. So it's kind of been just a running thing I've said all my life is I watch my family work their butts off. They're hard workers. And they all work till they're like 90 years old. And I'm like, I'm not doing that. I want to be able to retire at 40. And everybody looked at me nuts, you know, and I'm 38, just turned 38. So we still got a couple years yet, and just have the option to be able to do that. I want more people on our team to be able to do that. So, I mean, it's just not even an option not to work this business in some fashion every day for us.
And I think it comes down to, we truly do love what we do. Like, we had a local last night, so I actually was not on the call. Dustin was on the call. We had a local right down the road from us. And that's one thing I said was just like, I was an accountant before I did this, and I was really good at spreadsheets. I got, you know, kind of proud of myself for finishing a spreadsheet, but what I didn't get is that warm, fuzzy feeling in my heart when I finished a spreadsheet. And when we get stories from people we have helped personally start their Thrive experience and they're feeling amazing, and there's just nothing that compares to that. Like I said at the local last night, I got addicted to that early on. Like, I love helping people. I've never really had a tool or a resource or like a way to help people. And when we started thriving, all of a sudden we had that. And I can't imagine stopping. I love this. I'm truly addicted to the product side. And you know, it flipped over to the business side. Like, I'm addicted to helping people live the life they deserve. Just Le-Vel's their tag, you know, their tagline. I love that.
I get it. I get it. And you know, the thing is that, you know, it's, this is a business that goes with you anywhere. So yeah, I mean, you can work it from the beach, you can work it from the mountains, you can work it on a trip to Europe. You can work, you know what I mean? Like it goes with you everywhere, but it does, it becomes a part of you. And that is something that all of you that I've interviewed, you can just see that it's just a part of who you are. But the reality is everyone that's watching this, like, that's what you do. You just make it's who you are. You know, you make that decision. I mean, you guys, at some point, you made a decision. You made a decision that night to grab a friend and go, even though your wife couldn't go with you. You know, you made a decision to dial in and listen to calls. You made a decision to show up at another local. You made a decision to continue to reach out to people. You made a decision to create a better way of life for your family. And so it's just a continuous, okay, I'm going to make this decision because the tools are there. And the product is what it is, and the tools are there. So talk to us a little bit about that, just about the resources that we have and your teams being set up for success.
Just what you said. I mean, it's all out there. We all have the same 3 products that we take every single morning to start our day. We have the same fan page, the same, you know, leadership, like the 24-hour recording, everything that we do every day, everybody has access to that. And it's just a matter of making that decision every day to use it.
And my favorite, I mean, I know you've read the 10X Rule, you know, by Grant Cardone. That's one of my favorite all-time books. But we also love The Secret, Law of Attraction. And my big thing is you got to combine the two. You have to have, you know, the massive action, and you can put the law of attraction at work, but you have to also use massive action. My favorite is when people give us excuses on things like, oh, but you guys have been doing it this long, or you had this or that. Well, we had no experience in network marketing, 0. I had 62 friends on Facebook, despised Facebook. 62 guys,
62 friends.
Yeah, what'd you have?
I had about 300.
She had 300. Watch out, you know, and no massive network. So I looked at Facebook as a waste of time. So, you know, that's why when you talk about, you know, share, thrive, loud, and proud, I'm huge on share and thrive, loud, and proud, because what I understand as a previous business owner, your most expensive thing is advertising. That you spend so much money on advertising. You guys, Facebook is free. If you're not, you're crazy if you're not putting that out on there. If you believe in Le-Vel and you believe in the Thrive experience, you will have that stuff all over your Facebook wall, because this is a long-term vision. Just like he was talking last night, you have to have a long-term investor's vision, and that's what we're in this for, the long term. This is a 30-year company. I mean, you bring in one amazing leader a year over the course of 30 years. Think of the empire you've built that just keeps on giving. It's insane. And you can run fast, and you can go to 200K fast, or you can go to 200K in 10 years. Either way, it's going to be amazing when you get there. We were just talking this morning, actually, and this is kind of impromptu, but you know how, you know, we kind of hit those different ranks in the company, and those are your goals to go for. Well, once you hit 200K, what's your next goal? It's, oh, you want to get the millionaire award. And then you hit the millionaire, what's your millionaire award? What's your next goal? Because the high achievers, we always want to be striving for something, you know. So then it's got to go to, I want, you know, 4 personal 200Ks, or you got to find those things to keep striving for. So wherever you're at in this, you got to set attainable goals and steps to get there, so that you can be, you know, feeling good about accomplishing things too. So. And reach them.
Right. So I see your 200K sign, you got your millionaire sign, your $200,000 bonus that you guys earned. Our company does crazy things. I see a Success from Home magazine. What else is in your office there?
Top PPA award. There's a top PPA award from the company, number 8 or something it was. Yeah. Yes.
I love it. So what do your kids say about you guys? Like, what do they say about this whole Thrive world?
Well, I think something that we are proud of is we let them be a part of it. You know, like our kids go to locals with us sometimes. They go to Thrive After Fives. When there's a big call, we have it on speakerphone. We let them hear some things. You know, we talk about Thrive all the time. We talk about the different customers that we have and what they're noticing and things like that. So they're like, they get to see firsthand, they get to hear firsthand what it is. You know, it was kind of a struggle at first.
There was, yeah, with the kids, you know, like if you have the kids with this, you know, are you giving them enough attention? If you're trying to work this in the nooks and crannies, because you know, she was working full time. We were coming into concrete season, so we were slam busy with our full time work as well as 3 kids, you guys, and so fitting it in there, you start worrying about, are we giving them enough attention and blah blah blah, and so we had to have those talks with them, and some of those nights that we didn't get to spend right with them, we're definitely able to make up for now, you know, and I think they're definitely okay with how that all turned out. I mean, we made a commitment very early. Literally put a curtain over our TV so we could gain an extra hour at night after the kids went to bed. We made a commitment to start getting up at 5 in the morning every day, and we still have every morning. Saturdays we get up at 6, but every morning it's still 5 in the morning, so we can catch that time in the morning before our kids get up and your day gets away from you to do the productive work.
I think having them be like a part of what we're doing, and they get to, you know, at locals, they get to hear people's stories. There's always tears, there's always laughter, there's always emotion, and they get to be a part of that. And I think that, you know, it was kind of a struggle in the beginning, but they totally get the vision now. They totally see what we're doing and how we're impacting other people's lives, and they love it. And you know, they obviously get to reap the rewards of it as well. So they love that.
Right.
Yeah. And
right. Well, I think I saw you just went and had lunch with your son or something, or, you know, just that freedom that you have now to, I mean, you have the ability for that hands-on way more. I remember saying that to someone, you know, well, there was someone that asked me a question one night at a local event. She's like, but you're here. And I said, you don't understand. I see my kids way more now than I ever did as a speech pathologist, you know, and I'm not having to say, no, I can't because I have to go treat patients. No, I can't. No, I can't. You know what I mean? As a matter of fact, we bumped this time originally back because of the pumpkin patch. Obviously that didn't happen because it has not stopped raining in Texas, and it won't stop. So the pumpkin patch was canceled, but you know, we planned this around the pumpkin patch. You know, Tanya's interview yesterday had to end at a certain time because she had to go pick up her kids. I mean, all of us are living a crazy busy life, but we can live that crazy busy life with options, or that crazy busy life broke. And you know, I want to live that crazy busy life with options. And I want to be a part of those moments, because I've realized how quickly that time has flown. I was actually thinking about that the other day, you know, with just my daughter being a senior in high school. So the last 5 years, I mean, I wouldn't trade these last 5 years for anything because of Thrive entering our life, the difference that it made. I mean, I know I want time to stop, and I'd want to go back, but on the other hand, I'm like, no, I'm just so grateful it came into our life when it did, so these years could have been like they were, if that makes sense. So I don't know, anything else before we close out? We've got brand new people on here, we've got some veterans on here. You guys are awesome. I know they've had so much fun just hearing your journey and your story and your words of wisdom. Any closing thoughts?
No, just consistency, I guess, would be the main thing I would say, is just consistency. And what you had said, was that on the video yesterday? Like, if Thrive is not on your Facebook, that's dumb. We actually put that in our team page. Like, just being consistent and being loud and proud, right?
Do the dang event, you guys. If you are on the verge of like, oh, if I only had a major leader in my town, I would do the big event. I would do the event. Be the leader, guys. Somebody has to be the leader. There was no one in our town when we started. If you're in a town of, you know, 500 people and there's no leaders in your town, you have an advantage. If you're in a town of 500 people and you have a leader in your town, you have an advantage. Any way you spin it, you have an advantage because there's people not thriving yet. So do the dang event.
Do the dang event. All right, guys, we're going to wrap it up with that. Tell Dustin and Tiffanie, thank you. We're going to see you guys later. Thanks again.
Thank you.
Bye.